Welcome back to week 7 of the fantasy.
Wait a second. Okay, we're good.
What were you waiting on?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Redo.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to week 7 of the fantasy football formula. Hey, let me redo that again.
Now he's in his head.
No, I forgot what I was going to say after that. Okay. Welcome back to the fantasy football formula. This is week 7 of the the NFL season, but we're going to be reviewing the DFS slate, specifically on DraftKings, breaking down position by position, giving you our around five favorite plays at each position, and then build a Millie Maker lineup at the end. All right, I guess we'll start off at QB. This seems like a tough slate. Just from first glance,
a lot of teams on bye.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. It's a lot of teams on bye, and we're 6 weeks in. DraftKings, as roles are more established, they're pricing them, better, and it's harder to find value. So hopefully, I don't hope there's an injury, but usually there's injuries that happen later in the week, and then value opens up. And that's when you have to kind of take advantage of that. But for now, we'll give you our favorite plays. Starting off at quarterback. Who wants to start in this elite tier? Who are your favorites?
I'm stamping my stamp of approval of this week. Tier players that will be top tier. Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes did not get there. They did not pay for the price tags. Which hurt a lot of people if you play that Bills Chiefs game. Even Allen didn't really get there either. But this week, the best quarterback play by far is Justin Herbert. Has to be.
I agree.
Not even close.
We just had an approval bark as well.
Yeah. I mean, Alley's in on Herbert, Jay Herbo, Herbie fully loaded. Yeah, that's
7,200 against the Seahawks defense, who, unless they play a bad team like the Cardinals, who don't have an offense, they just give up points. And this is one of the highest over-unders on the slate. Justin Herbert at 7,200, I think, is a great play, especially with.
Yeah.
I totally agree, Callie. You get him back with Keenan Allen. I think he's the best play at the top tier for me.
I'm with you, Corey. Let's ride the Herbert train. He's almost averaging 50 pass attempts a game. I think he's at 43 or something. We saw last week, I think he put up 58 attempts. Keenan Allen's coming back. I don't hate Joshua Palmer. I think Gerald Everett's pretty solid, and he's using the check down to Eckler quite a bunch. So against a weak Seahawks defense, I love this opportunity, especially for the price tag. I'm with you.
Third. Yeah. Everything you guys all just said. This is the spot. And he doesn't even, at 7,200, he doesn't have to put up an doesn't have to put up an insane stat line. Very, very good could probably get you there and pay for that price tag.
Yep.
Yeah, Herbert's my favorite too.
Hey, all right, I'm already locking him in.
I don't think we've ever had a consensus lock
No, I don't.
He's been in the Millie Maker already.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be the one issue, and this kind of happened. So last week, I think we did kind of all agree that we liked that Buffalo Kansas City game, but towards the end of the week, I sent you guys a text and I was saying I think we should come off of this game because it's going to be so popular, and the Josh Allen to dig stack was going to be super popular. And I have a feeling that's going to be Herbert this week.
Yeah.
But it's so hard, because he is such a good play. And Keenan Allen's coming back. I still like him, and I'm not going to fade him, but it's going to be tough if he's going to be the highest owned quarterback.
I know, but it's still if you say he's 20%.
Okay, here, let me ask you this. This is just from obviously, I looking at it he could be the cash game quarterback. I would have to look at the slate a little bit more but tournaments, let's just talk tournaments. What ownership would he have to be at for you to be like, okay, it's not worth it at that ownership? Like, it's better to pivot off of him.
I don't know because
But if he hits like
Right, that's
No,
part
but
of
that
it.
points
doesn't.
and he's
My
the guy
point
to
is
have,
like there has to be an ownership level where you're gonna be like, all right, that makes sense to now not be on him as much. Like, let's say
30%.
20%. Would you be still on him?
I'd be on him at 20%.
30.
I move off a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think at 20%, he's okay. Like, boy, but if you get to 30, he's almost like I X him out completely.
Yeah.
Like, because I just don't think he's in an optimal lineup 1/3 of the time. That's the point. Like, then you just come off of him and get your spread that 30% amongst other guys.
I think the good thing is though for that if you're trying to project ownership, you got Burrow who just put up a massive game a little bit cheaper than him and right below him. So I think people might just be like, let's just go for Burrow, see if we could do it again, especially against Atlanta. Like that's just as tempting. He's kind of my other guy in the player pool, but
Burrow's in my player pool. He was the next guy I have, but
yeah.
People will look at the total, and the Chargers Seattle like blows everything out of the water. So like I know I'm pretty confident in saying Herbert's going to be the most popular. It's just how popular is he going to get? That's
I mean, hopefully some people got burned last week. The two highest over/under games last week went under by a significant margin. So
that's the reason why you fade them in some spots, because like obviously if Herbert came in at like 5 or 10%, you could be like, you could maybe consider making all of your lineups Herbert but once he gets too high, I think you have to
We're so Burrow is your next person, PB.
Yeah. Is anyone else have Burrow?
Yeah, I like Burrow too. I think he had a good week. I've been on the bounce back here for the Bengals for a while, so I'm going to keep it going. AJ Terrell might even be out, so
that's what I was
they're not too good against the pass. So I think their run, they kind of stuff the run a little bit, so not a huge Joe Mixon day. So I'm looking for another Chase Burrow breakout, especially at home.
What do we feel? How healthy is Dak Prescott against the Lions?
Rain Dakota.
Dak's in my player pool too. I think he's cleared to play.
I know he's cleared to play, but like, do they come out throwing the ball 35 times with them?
That's the thing is Detroit has the second worst like rush defense in the league. The Texans, I think, are the only worst team. So
big Tony P week.
It could be a Zeke or a Tony Pollard week.
Yeah. So I think it's one of those spots where you just have to wait a week to see how healthy he really is. Like, I understand. I mean, they're in a good spot. Like, they don't have to come out and like with Cooper Rush, like they did well enough. I mean, he only lost one game. So I kind of Dak might be in a couple lineups, but I'm not going full blown on him just because I'm afraid that they might just, ease him in and not have him throw the ball as much, especially as his throwing hand. If it was his other hand, I wouldn't give two shits, but it is his throwing hand. So I will be a little hesitant. I'm going to go down. Is anything else in that tier? I mean, like, all right, Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Like, I feel like they're going to be low owned.
Yeah, I think there will be too.
And if we've discussed before, with San Francisco being really beat up right now, and Patrick Mahomes just coming off of a loss, and their running game's okay. It's not anything special. I feel like Patrick Mahomes,
this team's a complete pass funnel. Like they are very good they've been very good against the run, and they've been decent against the pass.
The Browns have had troubles with the run too. When you're looking at Lamar, that defense hasn't been great. I mean, the Patriots just ran all over them.
Yeah,
the Browns are bad against the run.
But Lamar Jackson has a bad taste in my mouth after last week. I mean, I played him so much instead of Patrick Mahomes, and he just didn't get there, especially against the Giants, who we thought that he would just run all over, and he really didn't even open up his legs that much.
Yeah, this is like the more I think about it, because we're gonna get into the other positions, and we're gonna see very quickly. And like tight end, I guess, is a spot you can really pay down. Like I don't know. There's not many options to pay down at the slate, and usually that means it's usually a good idea to pay down at quarterback because the floor of those players are much higher than like running back and receiver and stuff. So, another player in my pool is Derek Carr, coming off of the bye against Houston at 5.9K in the dome in Vegas. I think a Carr like Adams Waller stack could with like a Brandon Cooks run back or a Damian Pierce run back. I like Pierce as well. I'm going to definitely run some game stacks with Carr.
Okay, so anyone else below Carr that Nick or Alex are you guys looking at?
Gino or Jimmy G, maybe not at all. They're just so cheap. Like it's just a slate that I feel like you gotta pay down almost.
Gino maybe, but we thought he was in a great spot last week to put up numbers, and he just did not. Oh no.
Yeah, this week I'm a little worried about Gino against the Chargers blitz. I think they're starting to get a little bit healthier on defense. I don't think they're gonna have Joey Bosa back, but Asante Samuel's back, so that's nice. But
maybe Jimmy G over Gino.
Jimmy G's so tough to play. Like,
yeah, he's
like no
ceiling.
upside. That's my problem with Jimmy G.
His ceiling's so low. There's a good chance he puts up like a 12 spot and like they still win.
He's put up the most is 18 this year.
Yeah. I would almost rather play like Matt Ryan and just hope he torches.
I wanted
for it.
Dude,
I was more upside.
Maybe he is the pay down guy.
Anyone lower?
I'd see if anyone would say it.
A Matt Ryan, Pittman, Alec Pierce, Derrick Henry stack?
You like Pittman this week?
Yeah. Dude. I don't hate that at all.
Yeah,
Matt Ryan, granted, I don't think, but okay, the Jaguars have a better defense than the Titans. Titans have a terrible secondary.
Yeah, they do.
Really
they're straight pass funnel.
Yeah, and if Jonathan Taylor's not fully healthy and he's still, I think he's going to play this week, but still, like,
I wouldn't play Taylor at all though. I wouldn't play him this week.
You saw what they did with Deion Jackson. If they're just throwing that pass, like the dump offs like that, that's huge. So
that's Jackson, a little more of Jackson's game, though. That's not Taylor's.
He's gotten better out of the backfield. But like I said, Matt Ryan's definitely going to be in my pool, especially at 5,400. He just put up 30 points, and they moved him up, like, I think $100.
Oh, gosh.
You saw what happened when he has time, and I think the Colts have figured out their offensive line. I said it yesterday. I think they haven't figured out, or at least they're trending in the right direction. So, if Matt Ryan's throwing the ball 45 times a game, I know that's not what they brought him in for, but you saw how good the offense looked. So 5,400, baby.
It's better than before. I'll say that. So
yeah,
there's no going down.
Yeah.
What about
nobody below that?
I won't do that against the Jags. If he had I just won't.
Okay. So we don't want to attack the Jags defense again.
No, I think the Jags have a somewhat respectable defense.
Okay. Danny Dimes might be.
He's cheap. He's very cheap.
I know. That's what
he's got the rushing upside.
It's just I don't know who to stack him with. Like, who do you stack him with?
I think you just stack him with Saquon and just say that's it.
Oh, that's so rough.
It is rough. Who do you want to play? Richie James, Wandell, maybe Wandell Robinson.
Daniel Jones kind of hits his ceiling when he's rushing for touchdowns, which takes away from Saquon. So it's like
now they score 4 touchdowns, 2 rushing each.
Yeah, that's.
I know it's very rare, but
all right. Well, he spent a lot of time on quarterback, but I will say, I do think quarterback more than we're gonna get into it right now. Running back, you'll see there's just so little value here. We'll see. Again, injuries can open things up, but as of now. What do you guys got here?
Eckler. We're just gonna keep talking.
All right, and how expensive is Eckler? Exactly,
he's 83.
He's expensive.
He's 8,300. I understand he is, but if he's getting 15 targets out of the backfield, Mike Williams.
I love Eckler. He's my favorite expensive running back play.
Yeah. No, yeah. His usage in passing game will probably go down a little bit with Keenan Allen coming back, but if he's still getting 7-8 targets out of the backfield and he's very good at catching. He's been blown up the last 3 weeks. So I like Eckler. The next person, actually, someone else go because
My other favorite play is a guy we were talking about this game, PB, but a guy you didn't mention, Josh Jacobs.
Oh, he's my favorite running
Yeah.
back play, I think, of the
Yeah.
week.
I mean,
Oh my
the
gosh.
Texans let up, I think they're
The worst.
30th. Yeah. 165 average rushing yards a game and a touchdown on average so far this year to running backs.
Mhm. I think that could be a slow game. Both running backs kind of having breakout. Well, Damian Pierce is a rookie and he looks awesome, but both running backs in that game, I think, could perform pretty well.
Yeah.
Dude, Jacobs is set up so well.
And then just below
I don't
that,
know. Is there another running like he's nearly projected, like he's probably up there with like the Ecklers and the Henrys and the Taylors for projected maybe even more than them. He's getting 6 targets a game and like over 20 rush attempts, and now he gets the easiest defense off a bye. I mean, yeah, Jacob
It's going to be good.
He's a lock, I think, in cash games, and then you just have to see at what ownership percent it's worth it to fade him. But
I don't love Devontae Adams. I think Stingley's also playing really well.
you don't have to worry about Stingley when it's Devontae Adams.
I don't know. He's pretty good. So let's see. That'll be a good matchup.
All right. Anything else in the top tier? I will say,
I love so at the top tier.
I like Saquon this week too.
I like Fournette. I mean, a ton. 7.7. Like he needs to be priced, I think, in the 8K range right now for his role. He's getting pretty much all the goal line work. He gets like 20 rush attempts and then he gets 6+ targets, sometimes 10 targets a game. Like his role is as good as any running back in the NFL right now. And they're playing against the Panthers, who have a bottom 10, rush defense.
yeah. I'm also liking Nick Chubb for a bounce back game against Baltimore. The Baltimore Ravens aren't the greatest defense at the moment right now, especially stopping the kind of the middle of the pack with stopping the run. But we know what the Browns want to do, and that's run Nick Chubb as much as they possibly can. And I mean, he's been one of the best running backs this entire year. Last week had a tough matchup against the Patriots. Baltimore's a little bit not as tough as the Patriots. I mean, if he's touching the ball 20, 22 times a game, I mean, I feel like he can get there. He can break anything. I think he has like the third most yards in NFL, like even like after contact. Like he's insane right now. I like Nick Chubb at his price tag at 8,000 as well.
Yeah, he's a hard. I don't think
anytime the Browns play juggernaut offenses, you see Nick Chubb playing and Kareem Hunt playing a lot more, just to slow the game down. So I could see it. I just think with the split backfield and Kareem Hunt takes all the targets, I just think there's cheaper options that you're going to get the same production and volume from. So, like, I'd rather go with the Kenneth Walker this week against the run. I would rather go with Kenneth Walker straight up. Yeah, like I think he's going to be good. Breece Hall looks unstoppable. So, like, save $2,000 and you get someone who's getting just as much volume and just as much talent. Maybe like this kid's breaking out. So
as much talent as Nick Chubb. I can't believe you just said that.
I would play
he's
like
really good. It's nothing against Nick Chubb, but Breece Hall looks awesome.
Chubb and Kenneth Walker were both 5.8K. I would play Kenneth Walker over Chubb.
No,
I'm just telling you what I would do. Like Kenneth. So if you've noticed, every running back play that we've said is, I think, priced at like the mid 6K or higher.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my point as to why there's so minimal value. And that's why I think Kenneth Walker and guys like Josh Jacobs, who's 6.5K, they're some of the best. I almost want to lock in one of Jacobs or Kenneth Walker on like every team.
I think it's Jacobs.
Damian Pierce, I guess you could throw in there too at 6.4. What name a running back cheaper than those guys? Like those are my cheapest guys like this week. Who else is there?
No, I mean you
can
can't
maybe go Tony P.
Yeah, he's the only guy I was considering, and he might have to be thrown in my pool because there's no value in running backs this week. 0.
If you're feeling really risky, you'll probably get a ton of leverage on this player, and it's against probably what I think is, the absolute worst run defense in the league is J.K. Dobbins. I watch the Browns every week, right, religiously. For years, they've never been able to stop the run. It's like they have terrible interior D line. Our linebackers are like average at best, and I mean maybe like Kenyon Drake's been stealing some of Dobbins' thunder, so you get a really cheap Dobbins that has a 25-point upside. So if you see him actually play a full game, he's a slate breaker.
He definitely has that potential. That's the issue. Like he played 3 snaps and he tightened his hamstring and was taken out. And then you saw what happened with Latavius Murray, or not Latavius Murray, Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake had a great game. Like that could have been J.K. Dobbins. And I mentioned him last week too, and it hurt really bad.
It's bad. Like I'm looking at Zeke, like, oh man, he just kind of looks like a value, and that's when I know like it's bad because. Man, that's rough.
The one thing I will say with going back to like top tiers, then we can move on to receiver. Derrick Henry against the Colts has done well in the past. First game this week, he put up 100. Francis was calling me. He put up a 100 spot and a touchdown against the Colts the first week they played. But the Colts defense has gotten healthier. And they're like 5th in the league in rush yards allowed. But they did just give up a lot to James Robinson and Travis Etienne. So Derrick Henry is interesting to a run back if you are running like a Matt Ryan stack.
I do think if you're running the Matt Ryan stack, I would put Derrick Henry in every Matt Ryan lineup. So that's how I'd play that if you're playing Matt Ryan. Yeah, I think that covered all my running backs. Now we're going to go to wide receiver. And again, there is a receiver. There's obviously more value because there's way more players, but you'll see it's still very hard to pick and choose some of these sub 5K guys. Like it's rough. So we'll start out at the top as usual. What are your guys' favorite expensive plays at receiver?
I'll say it for you, Corey. Michael Pittman Jr. What did he get? He got 16 targets last game. While he may not duplicate that, he's had over 8 in 5 of the last 6 on the season. When you get that type of volume, that's what you're looking for in fantasy football, is that volume. And he's obviously their best target, not only marching down the field, but in the red zone, I think, too. I know they got a couple of guys at tight end that are big bodies, but Matt Ryan's looking Michael Pittman Jr.'s way when they're down there.
He has 1 touchdown on the year.
I know.
Just imagine his score lines if he scored in like half of the games he played in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's in my pool for sure. I like on the expensive end. It's hard you have to save somewhere. So it's like I like Chase. I like Adams in my car stacks. A lot of it depends on what quarterback I'm playing. So if I play Carr, I'm playing Adams. Play Burrow, I'm playing Chase. But as a one-off, because I don't know if I'm actually going to play Jimmy G, but I do kind of like Debo a lot against Kansas City. They're going to be playing from behind most likely this game. And in these like big games, I feel like that's when Debo, just his workload is insane. And
they're also go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I think they're also getting Trent Williams back.
Yeah, that's big too. So I really think I'm not really in on Ayuk this week. After his big game last week, I like Debo. I think one of Debo or Kittle breaks the slate.
Yeah,
so we'll get to tight end, but I like one of those guys. So yeah, I do like Pittman. He's in there. But all right, what about in the sub 7K range? Unless you guys have other guys in the 7K range. Nope. Yeah. So what about in this like under 7K range, like mid tier?
Everything from like 5 to 7K, I honestly kind of hate.
That's what I'm saying. It's so hard this week. But
I don't have any good picks.
So, but you have to play someone here.
I like the Lizard King, Alan Lazard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number one receiver there in Green Bay. You got Rodgers throwing the ball. I know he hasn't looked good over these first 6 weeks, but anytime you're receiver one in Green Bay, you got a chance to go off. And the Washington secondary, we talked about it on the spread show, is nothing to write home about. Whereas PB puts it, fraudulent.
I would
go
say
ahead,
Chris Godwin.
Yeah, I like Godwin too.
If he's getting 10 plus targets a game, though, I mean, it just either that entire team is like week to week who's getting the targets and who's scoring the points. Especially with Lenny Fournette coming out of the backfield, he's taking targets away. But I mean, last week Godwin, what was it? 12 targets, 6 catches, 12 targets, 95 yards. I mean, if he gets in the end zone, he's, especially at his price tag. I mean, he's paying for that right there. So I like Godwin, especially against Carolina. I mean, they have a better defense than most people think, but that defense is going to be on the field a lot, especially with the offense. The entire team, Carolina's team, is in shambles right now.
I think they're a lock for the number one pick this year.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Yeah. I love Godwin too. I have him on religiously on all my fantasy teams. My problem with him is the touchdowns. Like Mike Evans gets 2 corner fades every red zone trip, and Leonard Fournette is there if the end zone fades don't work. So that's my only problem with him. I guess I like CeeDee Lamb a lot. He's my favorite wide receiver this week. I think with Dak being back, this might be the cheapest we see CeeDee Lamb the rest of the year. So he's kind of my favorite play. I also like T. Higgins. If AJ Terrell does play, I think that will draw some more target share towards T. Higgins, assuming that Jamar Chase gets locked up a little bit. So I saw something that the Falcons were actually the 7th most productive offense in the NFL.
Yeah,
very surprising to me. But I think that bodes well for, kind of opposing teams' fantasy players. If they're putting up points, they're going to be passing a lot. We know they're good at stuffing the run, so I think they're going to have to look to T. Higgins a little bit more than average here. So in the 6K range, that's who I'm playing.
Yeah, Lamb's my favorite play in this. Like, it's so hard for me not to play a bunch of this guy because with Dak back, going against the Lions, who have, on both sides, like the run, they've been absolutely terrible, and against the pass, they've been bottom 3, I think, in both categories. And it just makes me want, just like last week where I loved Chase a bunch, but I was an idiot and didn't play enough Burrow, any Burrow. I don't want to make that mistake this week. So if I love Lamb a ton, which I do, I'm probably going to have to just play some Dak. But yeah, in this 6K, I like him and I like Metcalf. So we talked about Herbert being like our favorite quarterback at first glance. Well, one of Metcalf or Kenneth Walker will be on every Herbert team that I make.
You rather go up to DK and not save 800 with Lockett?
Yeah.
Okay. As shown by last week.
Yeah, Lockett, maybe I'll sprinkle some of him in there, but I prefer Metcalf against the Chargers.
I like paying the $800 for the security of knowing you're going to get at least 10 points. Personally,
I think DK Metcalf is a much superior talent to Tyler Lockett, and I'm just gonna pay a little bit more for him this week. I like to take stands usually on the slates, and so I just like fade players completely, and I might do that with Lockett. I'm trying to think anyone else. So
Alex,
again,
you got anyone?
Most of these players now we need to find some cheap guys because you have to play cheap guys on a team because you can't build a team otherwise. What are your cheap guys?
Hang on, before we say that,
look,
are we scared? Just to touch really quickly, Julio Jones might be back. Is he an issue for taking away targets from Mike Evans and Godwin? I think he is.
Yeah, if he's healthy and back, he's gonna take in. Russell Gage is there, and
I know, but they went out. He's a big name though. I feel like he's gonna get targeted a lot. He's just something I'm looking at. I'm not
Oh, I won't
throwing
play
him
him.
in totally my player pool, or maybe it's like a one-off if he is back, just to show like, hey, we still have this guy too. But below 5K, I mean, would I be
I only got
remiss
two
if I
guys
didn't
there.
if I didn't go
Or
and
in the
represent-
5K or in below range. Well, I had to pick three guys from this range because like I'm paying up at running back pretty much. I need to get an expensive receiver. Like I had to have my player pool pretty wide in this area.
I only got two
Jeez.
guys, and they go by the name of Jahan Dotson and Nico
Against the-
Collins.
I don't mind Nico, but Dotson?
Yeah, I mean, if Scary Terry gets locked up, maybe something with this backup QB can spark. I don't know.
Taylor Heineke with Dotson. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe something to think about.
I'm surprised you didn't say your boy DPJ.
No, not against the not against the Ravens.
He's getting targets.
My three guys, I'll just say them. I won't go into detail, but it's London at 5'4". I mean, his target share is absolutely insane against Cincinnati. Him or Pitts will be on all my Burrow teams. And then DJ Moore, I'm going back to at 4'9". Like, I mean, there's no other guy in this range with his like talent level, and going against Tampa, should be playing from behind. I like pairing him with Fournette the most, just keeping that game. If they're pushing it back and forth, I like pairing DJ Moore with Fournette. And then last one is Romeo Dubes. I like him more than Lazard just for the price savings going against that terrible Washington secondary.
Yeah, my three under 5K. I'm actually really looking at. I'm monitoring the Giants receiving core, dude. I understand, but they are going against the Jaguars secondary, who just got eviscerated last week. And I'm just saying, like it's such a cheap stack to get to. Dude, if if Tony's playing, I would look his way. I do Wendell Robinson. I don't mind. Dude, I know they haven't really done much, but I'm with the volume, and they're the only people there, and they're that cheap against a secondary that's not very good.
In a 38.5 point total game.
I will take my chances. But again, Alec Pierce, I'm going to keep mentioning his name. He was in the winning lineup for the early entry only tournaments.
You had to mention in the early slate, 3 games, he was in the winner.
You know, it's more than
like
I thought
8 games. What are you talking about? It was
Whatever.
8 games.
He scored 13 points, I think.
He paid off his price tag. And
that's not paying it off in a
and the last one is going to be, dude, I want to mention Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, he's in my pool
at 4,900.
I was looking there too.
Yeah, I just with his upside of just catching passes, and you know, if he gets, I mean, obviously it'll hurt anyone who has Devontae Adams, but it's kind of a different pivot point off of Adams to go all the way down to Hunter Renfrow at 4,900. Anyone else?
Anyone have anyone's cheap? Because this is where I think you got to live this week at least one or two of your receiver slots.
Paris Campbell, 3,900, 8 targets last week, 8 catches, and a touchdown. No, me either. Nah, he sucks.
He's done.
He's so bad. That was such a tease of like potential. I will say Frank Reich did say this is going to be a breakout game, and sure enough, it kind of was. But no, don't play Paris Campbell. Don't.
Now I want to play him because, like you say, don't, and then he just is going to go ballistic.
Yeah, don't do that.
All right. Well, there's no more there. Can't wait till we build this lineup because we're going to be struggling. I already know it for salary.
Yeah. We are.
All right, tight end.
Alex, you haven't really said much.
Gerald Everett revenge game.
Oh yeah,
I like that,
That's
especially for the Herbert stack.
Yeah. Obviously getting him at cheaper than those top 2 wide receiver targets. If we do go Herbert, definitely a guy to look at. Let's see, 7 targets last game. Not putting up a ton of points yet, but again, got to find someone cheap somewhere.
Yeah, I don't mind Everett. I like him. Nick, what do you got?
I like my boy David Njoku, the Chief. I think he's number 2 on the team in target share. He's just a big body, good, easy target for Brisket. So, I mean, he's always going to have the volume, I think, for his price at 4,200, which is nice. Probably best at that level, honestly. I'm not going to go back to the well with Robert Tanyan. I think he had his, breakout game for the year last week. So staying away from him, but kind of interested to see if Dalton Schultz is healthy. We saw him produce a ton last year with Dak Prescott. He was, I believe, a top 6 tight end.
Yeah, he was.
I think he's got some potential there. Something to keep an eye on if he is healthy, though.
PB, what do you got?
So as I said, I love Kittle this week against the Chiefs. This could definitely be a game plan where they just need. This is a game plan where they know they're going to have to score points to keep up, and that's usually when Kittle has his ceiling eruption spots. So yeah, Kittle is one of my 2 favorite plays. So again, I'm even kind of like to pay up at tight end a little bit. I have to fade pretty much Andrews and Kelsey. I just don't think you can get to them this week. I do think they're going to be extremely low owned for that reason. So if you can find value elsewhere, good luck. But I just don't think I could play either of them this week. And then
Go ahead.
Waller at the same price point
Yeah.
if I'm playing Derek Carr.
Yep. I agree with the Waller. I really like the Everett call by Alex. I really love the
Everett
Dalton
too.
Schultz call as well. I think Dalton Schultz at 3,600 is easily the second target. He can be the number 2 person receiving option on that team. Evan Ingram is interesting to me. He's getting the targets each game. 10 against Houston. He had 6 last week. The Giants defense is definitely better, but he's receiving
tight ends too.
Yeah. So I'm liking Evan Ingram at 3,300, but does anyone else have anyone else before?
No, Evan Ingram is one of my. He scored. I said it one of the other. He's scoring this week in a revenge game against the
Giants.
He's scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, I think they put that in their game plan. Hey, we got to get him a touchdown. But what about someone even lower than that?
Yeah, I do have one guy.
Is it the same guy I'm thinking of?
Probably, yeah.
I don't know who.
Greg Dulcich.
Yeah, the Dulcich. 2,500. That's minimum for a tight end. I was looking at snap count because I was interested to see what everything turned out to be for Denver. I'm not gonna pronounce Albert O's name. I'm just gonna call him Albert O. Yeah, he's done. He's probably gonna be traded. Beck is Andrew. He didn't really do anything. Seibert was the only one that I was kind of worried about.
Tomlinson's a blocker.
Dude, Seibert played 1 snap.
Oof. Yeah, they just
one
threw
snap
right in there.
I mean, they love this guy from UCLA.
He's a freak talent. I mean,
dude, he's really good at 2,500. So he played on Monday night. Yeah, Monday night. So they didn't move his price up. 2,500. He's definitely gonna be more popular because everyone watched that game. But
he'll be honestly, he might be the cash game quarterback or the tight end because you have to spend up elsewhere, and he's just a punt, and he's the starting tight end, a receiving tight end for the Broncos in a game where the Jets have a good secondary, but they're a little weaker against tight ends. So
yeah. So he might be my favorite tight end. I mean, he's gonna be everyone's favorite tight end, 2,500. But
I hate.
You can save so much money and go other places. So
if you can't play, honestly, there's no way you could play Greg Dulcich at over 20% owned. You can't do that.
I'm gonna fucking play him like that.
At over 20%, that's crazy. If he's 10%, I get it, but 20, that's you can just, if he scores 3 points, you just get ahead of so many people.
I know how it works.
Well, let's start off at quarterback here.
All right. Yeah, I mean, can we just do that? let's not have a huge debate. Unless it was Matt Ryan, I'd be totally fine with Matt Ryan.
Honestly, I mean, listen, if we want to go Herbert, we can. That's what everyone really wants to do. I'm fine with it. We'll just monitor. I think we should just monitor his ownership throughout the week and see if it gets out of hand. If it stays around like 10 to 15%, that's great. We'll keep him. But I think we should look at it.
All right.
Keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Keep an
Josh
eye.
Jacobs.
I think well, we got to stack Herbert. I think you have to probably go 2 guys. So my guess would be Eckler and Big Mike Williams, or Mike Williams and Everett.
Wait, what was Keenan? Keenan Allen 6,700?
Yeah, just no way I'd go there over Big Mike.
Yeah, I
Yep.
still would be worried about that hamstring.
Yeah.
So what combo do you guys like? Eckler and Mike, or Mike and Everett?
We're gonna get real nasty if we do this.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Like,
already
real
so,
gross.
it's so hard.
But that's a lineup where maybe you get Greg in there.
I don't know. Sorry. So what do you guys think?
I mean, I think I'd rather move off of Eckler and just play 2 receiving. I mean, I understand Eckler's a receiving option, but I think he loses target share
Everett.
this week. So I go Herbert, Williams, Everett, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Gives us a little more money to work with.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks.
I really
mean, the Seahawks are atrocious against tight ends. So
Yeah.
they're the worst team in the league.
Do we want to run it back with like DK?
Yeah, no, I know, or Kenneth. Kenneth, we do
Or
get
Kenneth
that running
Walker.
back savings.
Kenneth
I'd say
Walker and Josh Jacobs.
I
at
say
running back?
Kenneth. I say Kenneth.
Yeah. I go.
I like
Kenneth,
that too. I
Um,
might try and slow that offense down, run the ball a lot.
I feel like if you have to play Josh Jacobs against Houston. I mean, dude, even
Yeah.
the Bears look
Yeah.
like an elite team
That's a
against
lock.
the Texans.
That's a lock. He's been doing good.
He has been. He's broken out.
trying to see something here. Okay. So we need to get a cheap receiver, like probably a sub 5K guy. So let's do that. I keep going here. Let's keep looking. I just want to see like all the way. I mean, MVS isn't terrible, I guess.
He got 0 points last week.
Yeah, I know, but that's 1 week. No, not with Allen back, but
I don't hate the Nico Collins with the Josh Jacobs correlation.
I do like some Nico this week.
He's been getting some good targets.
He'll be super low owned too.
All right, so now we have 5,000. Go defense, yeah.
Yeah, defense. I think. I mean, even the defenses this week are like tough to pay down on.
Yeah.
Like I was looking through, like there's not even a defense I like until
Jets.
the Colts.
What about the
I kind of
Jets?
like the Raiders defense, but that kind of blows the Nico Collins thing.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'd say either Colts or Jets. I mean, Jets have been playing pretty well, and we just saw Denver's offensive line get absolutely obliterated in the second half.
I don't want to play the Jets against.
What about Green Bay? I mean, I
Green-
know it's more expensive, but
I do like the Packers. The Packers are one of my favorite defenses.
with a backup QB that you're kind of lost on offense right now. So I think the Packers could.
I like
I feel like they have a pick six potential. I don't know why.
Titans, Jags, Broncos, or Packers and then I just don't think we can get up any higher. Like I like the Bengals.
Titans.
Yeah, I wouldn't play the Titans.
No,
I don't mind the Jags.
I
but
like the
but
Titans more
Giants are
just
hot.
because Matt Ryan has turned the ball over an insane amount of times this year.
Yeah, But if he, I mean, he cleaned it up last week. If he continues,
1
he's
week.
like
I'm
a
just
crafty
saying.
veteran. He's
If
not like
he
a young
throws the
guy,
ball
though.
60 times, that's 60 opportunity. You want them to throw a lot. That's more opportunities for a pick six, which is
If
what
we
you
could
want.
play the Cardinals defense, I
That's why I
would.
like the Packers, because I think Heineke's going to be forced in this spot
Yeah.
where he's got to make huge plays, and he's going to.
Why not the Broncos for 100
Alexander's
left?
going to chew him.
I'd play Broncos actually against the Jets, just for the fact is
I like
the Broncos have a great.
The Broncos are scoring a defensive touchdown at some point, and they haven't done it.
How many times have you said that this year, and how many times has that actually panned out?
I haven't said they're going to score a defensive touchdown. I don't think.
No, I feel like
You
every
said that
week
last week,
you
too.
name a defense
Against the Chargers, I said that when I had. What are you talking about?
No, you just name a defense like they're scoring a defensive touchdown.
Oh,
Oof, look at that sack day on the Colts.
I'd say, I'd say the
I
Broncos.
mean, I'm fine with the
The
Broncos too. I like Packers, but whatever.
Either
All
one.
right, 5,900.
Let's see where we net out.
Do we go with
So what's the highest scoring game this week?
The
Chargers?
one we stacked.
Chargers
Okay.
and Seattle.
And what's second?
Probably the Dallas
Lions.
Lions.
Do we like St. Brown? Amon Ra?
No.
No, we can't fit him. Also, we could probably get Lamb.
Or
Couldn't we?
T. Higgins.
But
Oh, that's good.
what?
That is, we get CD there, and then we have 5,000. We get Romeo smoking doobies.
Ooh, yeah, I do like that. That's a pretty solid lineup there.
Yeah, we use all of our salary. Yeah, that's a really good one. This might be it. This might be the weekend.
That might be the
I
weekend.
think it's it. I kind of feel something special about this one.
Yeah, it's at the end there. It just kind of came together.
Satisfying.
Extremely satisfied with this lineup right here.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
that's pretty solid. Hopefully things go our way this week, and we're rich
Hey.
next week.
Hey, maybe tomorrow we do a Thursday night showdown.
Yeah, we have my Saints, versus the Cardinals. Yeah, we might be able to get one done in the morning, but no guarantees.
Okay.
Just
Well,
surprise.
Surprise episode.
Yeah. That'll do it for this week, and we'll see you next week for week 8.